Welcome, viewers, to Fulgur channel. And today, we're unraveling a high seas drama that has captured the world's attention. Subscribe, hit the bell icon, and let's dive into the clash between the Japan Coast Guard and Chinese fishing vessels near Miyako Island. But before we begin, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. As the sun sets on the East China Sea, tensions rise. The peaceful waters surrounding Miyako Island become the stage for a confrontation between the Japan Coast Guard and Chinese fishing vessels. Japan Coast Guard ships patrolling the waters, and on the horizon, a fleet of Chinese fishing vessels. As the two sides come face to face, verbal warnings escalate into a high-stakes game of maritime brinkmanship. China and Japan accused each other of maritime incursions after a confrontation between their coast guards in waters around disputed islands in the East China Sea. China's Coast Guard said on Sunday that a Japanese fishing boat and several patrol vessels intruded the previous day into waters around the tiny islands called Diaoyu in China and Senkaku in Japan. The uninhabited islands are controlled by Japan, but also claimed by China. China's Coast Guard said in a statement it had taken necessary measures in accordance with the law to warn away the Japanese vessels. Japan's Coast Guard said on Saturday that two Chinese maritime patrol boats left Japan's territorial waters around the islands after receiving warnings. It said its patrol vessels were protecting a Japanese fishing boat that had been approached by the Chinese ships. Asian maritime disputes involving China have been escalating. China and the Philippines traded accusations on Sunday over a collision between their vessels in a part of the South China Sea each nation claims, marking the second confrontation in as many days. A Chinese naval helicopter approached a Japanese research ship within the country's exclusive economic zone in the East China Sea, the fisheries agency has said. The Japanese government told the Chinese government through a diplomatic channel that the incident on Friday was regrettable and Beijing should prevent any similar occurrences in the future, the agency said. Coming from behind the Yoko Maru of the Fisheries Research and Education Agency, the helicopter reached a point roughly 150 to 200 meters from the vessel and more than 30 meters above the sea in waters northwest of Okinawa, around 10:47 a.m. Friday before flying away, the fisheries agency said. The Japanese ship was doing fisheries resource research in the EEZ, which extends some 370 kilometers from the Japanese coastline, at the time of the incident. Each country can develop natural resources, build islands, and apply domestic law regarding issues such as fisheries within its exclusive economic zone, which is defined under the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. The Chinese Coast Guard said its vessels warned off Japanese ships that illegally intruded into waters around disputed East China Sea islets on Tuesday. The Chinese vessels took necessary control measures, the Coast Guard added, without going into details. There was no immediate comment from Japan. China urged Japan to immediately cease all illegal activities in the area and ensure that similar incidents do not recur, the Coast Guard added. The waters around Diaoyu Islands, which Japan calls the Senkaku Islands, are disputed and claimed by both China and Japan. The two sides have faced off in the waters, deploying patrol boats and urging the other to leave the area. The incident near Miyako Island is more than a localized dispute. It sends shockwaves across the geopolitical landscape. Join us as we examine how this clash fits into the broader context of Japan-China relations, the South China Sea dispute, and the delicate balance of power in the region. As news of the confrontation spreads, nations around the world react. We'll explore the diplomatic fallout, calls for restraint, and the potential consequences for international relations. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the Japan Coast Guard's clash. with Chinese fishing vessels near Miyako Island. If you found this video informative, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe for more insightful content. Stay tuned for our next episode as we continue to explore the ever-evolving landscape of global affairs.